Hello everyone. Today I'm be sharing a slightly older scientific finding than I have been recently. This one is about the unreliability of eyewitness testimony. I'm sure everyone knows what eyewitness testimony is. It's one of the most powerful forms of evidence in a court of law. And inherently it seems like something we can all trust, something we can all believe in, so to speak. But that's actually, although it seems intuitively correct, is actually not quite as accurate as one might think. And it's a great example of how science can sometimes do various studies on things we assume are one way, and we assume are correct, that is, eyewitness testimony is accurate. And why bother doing a study on that? And through the scientific method can uncover that actually we may not, or perhaps we should not be relying on eyewitness testimony quite as strongly as we have in the past. Now, to illustrate that, I'd like to share a bit of a story. It's a case study, actually, although I won't be using any of the names of the people involved for, well, scientific, ethical purposes as well as legal ones. This took place a few years ago. It involved a woman living in a city. She was sitting at home in her apartment watching the television. Ordinary scene. Suddenly a man broke into her apartment and sexually assaulted her. He escaped, ran off, and she was very quick to call the police. She offered a description. The police, obviously, they went to see her, they interviewed her several times, and they got a profile. They got her to tell her story over and over, and they got a visual description of the guy. So what happened was a few hours later they actually picked someone matching the description up, brought them to the police station, and this is all within a 24-hour period, brought the woman to the police station, and she was able to positively ID the man as her attacker. She was quite certain that this was the man who assaulted her less than 24 hours ago. Now, the problem was this man had an airtight alibi. During the time when she was attacked, this man was actually filming a television show, and it was a live broadcast. And here's where it gets a little complicated. The reason she thought she saw him as her attacker was because he was actually on the television when she was attacked. So in her memory, she mistook her attacker's face for the face she had been watching on television. Now, this is a very deliberate example of how our memories are incredibly malleable, specifically when they're first formed. We tend to have very weak impressions of things that happen to us when our attention is not directed upon them. Now, in that last story, you may have noticed I mentioned the woman was repeatedly interviewed, and each time she was interviewed she would give a description of her attacker repeatedly. Now, that description may have started as vague and uncertain, but as she recalls it over and over, constantly being prompted for the same details, that memory, which was once very hazy and uncertain, becomes more and more solidified. And that's basically how memories work. When they're first imprinted into our brain, they're very weak. I mean, when you experience something, it technically becomes a memory. But if you don't try to recall it or remember it, it'll just fade away. For instance, what you had for breakfast 3 weeks ago. I'm sure you don't remember that because you haven't even thought about it since then. However, if you were to think of it over and over and over again, that memory would become stronger and would be imprinted in your brain much more consistently, and it would be more permanent. Now, why was the memory changed? Well, that's because whenever a memory is recalled, it suddenly enters this weird space where it becomes malleable again. It can be subject to change. So it's sort of a double-edged sword. I mean, you either forget it and it's gone forever, or you remember it and risk the chance of having it be altered. And this is true for all memories. The example I just cited a little earlier, that woman was the victim of a crime, not necessarily a witness. Oh, she was a witness to her own crime, but obviously being the victim, there was some other elements in play. But the key element that would be the same for an eyewitness is attention. No one expects crime to happen. You don't walk down the street expecting to be mugged, or if you do, you must be exhausted, constantly looking over your shoulder. But the key to properly identifying the small descriptions required to make a positive ID in a crime requires you to pay attention, and that is to have your attention ready. For instance, if you see someone walking down the street and they're hit by a car in a hit and run and the car just takes off, you'll be very hard pressed to tell me the make of the car, what year, or even what company made it, never mind the model. And then the driver inside the car, oh, it just gets harder and harder. But nonetheless, when eyewitnesses are interviewed, they are interviewed multiple times, and what may start as an uncertain memory they're not terribly confident in will increase in confidence, but it won't increase in accuracy. That's the amazing thing about memories. We can be incredibly confident, but that has absolutely no relationship with how accurate our memories actually are. Now, this evidence is pretty thick. I mean, there's a lot of studies that reinforce this and show that eyewitnesses are incredibly unreliable, and never mind the facts that police officers can sometimes steer witnesses with leading questions. Lawyers can get involved and muddy the waters even further. And often trials take place years after the fact, when the memories have been recalled so many times, either talking to the media or family members or friends, that they could be completely different than what actually happened, and they're incredibly unreliable. But nonetheless, we still use them in our justice system, and I don't have a very good answer for that. It could just be that we so strongly believe in eyewitness testimony, we intuitively believe in it so strongly that it would be too difficult, or is too difficult, to remove its importance from the justice system. It would cause a lot of lawyers to suddenly have to change their tactics. It would affect the way law enforcement does their decisions. It would be a huge change. But nonetheless, it would be a change for the better. It would be one that more accurately reflects reality, and considering in many of these cases someone's life can literally be on the line, I think it's important to look at the scientific evidence, and there is quite a bit of it in this case, and perhaps it's time we rethink the importance we place on eyewitness testimony. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, love science.